June 25th, 1963. The 35th President of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, stands in front of hundreds gathered in a hall to deliver an address to an entire country. Among many words spoken, great men quoted, history relived. He delivered an iconic sentence that would be attributed to him even 60 years later. Quote, "But Goethe tells us in his greatest poem that Faust lost the liberty of his soul when he said to the passing moment, 'Stay, thou art so fair.' And our liberty too is endangered if we pause for the passing moment, if we rest on our achievements, if we resist the pace of progress. For time and the world do not stand still. Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or the present are certain to miss the future." As of the date of this recording, December 21st, the year of our Lord 2024, Hunt Showdown has been publicly available for a combined total of 2,493 days, 81 months, nearly 7 years. A lot can happen in 7 years. I'm hardly the shadow of the man I was a couple years ago, let alone 5 more. The world of Hunt is the culmination of thousands of hours of work by hundreds of passionate individuals. Teams built of multifaceted individuals with different backgrounds, experiences, and skills. Housed within a successful award-winning company, Hunt has been receiving live service for the greater half of a decade, and I dare to say that Hunt is a shadow of its former self, as well as I, or yourself. With each passing day, we continue to grow and mold into a different version of ourselves. Our experiences build us into our following years and bury layers of our essence beneath our souls to raise us even higher or drop us even lower. And while living creatures never truly stop growing and developing, neither does a living project. The hands that crafted this world we hunted never stop typing, drawing, writing. Hunt is a living, breathing game world, and it has grown a whole lot too. From humble beginnings, with very few weapons in the game, very little voodoo magic to speak of, no grand plot, pages of stories unfolding behind the scenes, cinematics created. It was just you, your weapon, other hunters, and a bounty target. But that wasn't the last 7 years. They introduced an in-depth trait system to further customize your hunters. They added custom ammo to add more depth to your loadouts. Darksight was invented to add new layers to your gameplay. New tools, weapons, and consumables were constantly brought in to spice things up. We got remote-controlled drones in the form of fuzzy little beetles we control with our minds. Events were introduced to add temporary, experimental, and fun variables for hunters to try in a limited format. We got 3 new maps, 3 new game modes, 4 new bounty targets, even the fundamental systems themselves within the groundwork of Hunt have evolved. The audio is dynamic and spatial now. The engine graduated to a whole new build. The UIs were deconstructed and rebuilt from the ground up. Bullet drop was introduced from every weapon. Hell, Port's Sulfur Band is even an actual band now and not just a group of developers grabbing some instruments and having a good time between development. And I'm still barely scratching the surface. My bottom line is, Hunt has always been changing. It has always been a living, breathing world that we hunt in. Ever changing, ever growing alongside us. And that is natural. If Hunt stayed the same from year 1, the world would be darker, the combat would be more grounded. This is all true. But the world as a whole would be so much more empty. The amount of hunters wouldn't have gotten even close to the heights that the 2.0 launch received. I doubt the game would even have live servers anymore 7 years later. In a game climate in 2024 that is ever changing and evolving, competition is fierce. Many extraction shooters of old have come and gone, yet Hunt Showdown continues to stand as a continually growing game. The stakes keep getting raised, and just when I think Crytek is going to run out of ideas, They reinvent those ideas and do something new. The team that works on our world that we love still loves it themselves 7 years later. The game isn't going to feel anything like it did when it first came out. Every time a problem arises now, something new is introduced to put out that flame. Fire was annoying, so choke bombs got introduced. Camping was a problem. Beetles got created. The bounty wasn't rewarding enough to fight for, so Darkseid was invented. Would you really rather have none of these improvements in the game? We're in 2024 now. The game has grown beyond anything that anyone would have thought in 1.0. The artist Post Malone's titular murder circus has come to the world of Hunt and brought with it exciting new additions. Temporary changes to maps for the first time. A weapon that will be going away forever after the event is done. A new special AI and more. For the first time ever, the main focus of this event wasn't world building, adding some crazy world-bending new update. The goal was simply fun. The developers wanted us to have fun going to the circus. And Lord, am I having it in droves. Hunter, I hate to bring in a reality check, but I feel it's important. Hunt was not that great in 1.0. The game was devoid of features. The game was devoid of content. The game was significantly more brutal and even less welcoming to new players than it is now. And communication with Crytek, our developers, was minimal at best, if ever. If there was a bug, you'd be waiting forever to get it patched out. It really wasn't all roses, regardless of what some veterans will tell you. I really don't think they miss Hunt as it was back then. I think they more miss how they felt playing it back then, enjoying Hunt for the first times. How they enjoyed the game back then. They were younger. The game was younger. Many folks had more friends in the game back then. It was exciting. Everything was more fresh and new, and the world of Hunt was wildly unexperienced, unknown. It was exciting. But there was nothing they could do to the game to bring that feeling back for you. That is a unique feeling in your memories of how Hunt was back then. And there's a beauty to that. The game as it was died for you, but now the game will live for years to come. If Post Malone being in Hunt is enough of a turnoff for you to not want to play the game anymore, no one is going to stop you. I'm not going to belittle you for your opinions or make you feel lesser than your beautiful self. Either Hunt grew away from you, or you grew away from Hunt. Maybe it was the Beatles that crossed your line, or Death Cheat, or Flash Bombs, custom ammo, or Post Malone. Whatever crossed your line in the sand, at least you had everything before that line. You'll never forget the games in Hunt that you loved, even if you aren't loving them now. A lot can happen 7 years, Hunter. You'll always be a hunter, whether you're playing the game or not. Hunt is an experience in gaming that I genuinely could never forget. Even when I'm not playing the game, I have fond memories of it. I will never find another world as immersive and enthralling and mysterious as the world of Hunt Showdown. And I have been eternally blessed to find a community within the corruption surrounding us all. So even though the change came in ways you don't enjoy, and you're not going to stick around, when the servers go down one day, and Hunt dies as all living things do, I hope you'll come back to brave the flames one last time alongside us all, for old time's sake. Change is as inevitable as the setting of the sun. Whether the world changes in ways we like or ways we hate, it would be so much more bleak living in the same day forever. Hunt Showdown is changing, and that's okay. Stick around, don't stick around. Just do what you love and do it proudly. I'll be there beside you every step of the way. Thank you for stopping by the lodge today, Hunters. It has been an incredible journey with you by my side.